So I wanted to talk about how to live a good life, and it's a lot trickier than most of us sort of think about. I was just thinking about this as I was running out, dropping off my kids, doing the regular. This is what I do every day. My schedule is pretty standard. I get up in the morning, walk the dogs typically, or get some sort of exercise with the dogs, get breakfast ready, get the kids out the door, drop them off at school, go into work. Maybe I'll do like a half an hour of the reciprocity project stuff. But, excuse me, it's like really standard in terms of what I'm doing. And, I was thinking about like all of this sort of nonsense of, how to optimize your life and to get more done and all of that kind of stuff. And frankly, none of that stuff is true. Once you start to look at what goes on in your life, you really start to understand that there is only so much that you can do in a day. And a lot of this has to do with just you being content with who you are as a person. And, I think early on in our life, we tend to believe that we can optimize everything and that everything's about efficiency. At least that's what the sort of myth that I was told. But as I've gotten older, I've realized that, hey, you know what? Life is pretty routine. And, the more I realize that there's actually a literature on this in terms of, the management of things. And life is extremely routine. That you do things and you sort of there's repetition on a daily basis, and you just do the same things every day. And it's not really about optimizing a single day or optimizing your time in any sort of way. It's really just living your life the way that you really want to live it. And I think that is the bigger thing to think about. We only have a certain amount of time in this world. I think that's where the sort of optimization stuff comes in, and it makes a lot of sense, right? And we should sort of maximize the most amount that we can possibly do, and I think that makes a lot of sense, given with who we are. But then we simply need to realize that in a given day we can't do more than what's in a 24-hour day. We can't do more than the constraints that we actually have. And we need to embrace that fact and just love the life that you're living and try to live a good life. And I think that is ultimately the bigger question and the bigger thing. It's not about efficiency and optimization and all of that kind of stuff, but it's more about just living a good life that you really enjoy and that you really want to have. Yeah, so I was thinking about this as you know, I see all of this sort of stuff of like you should do this and you should do that and this is the way that you sort of make your life better or whatever. And there is unbelievable structure to most people's lives. Like in terms of where they end up going and what they're doing. It's like it just cracks me up when people start talking about the decisions that they made to go into graduate school and all this kind of stuff. And then, it turns out that their parents were, academics and professors. I'm like, that's not a decision in any sort of way. You just did what somebody else did before you. That's not a decision. That's not anything that's new. So I want you to sort of think about like, hey, you know what? Just live a good life. Stop thinking about all of that sort of nonsense of, um, how to be more efficient and all of that kind of stuff. That's people putting their own perspective on you, their own agendas on you, pushing you to make you feel like you should be doing this particular thing and all the shoulds and all of that kind of stuff. And really, it's your life. And you have to think about that. Now, hey, can you actually do a lot better with your life? I strongly believe that everybody can. But you have to start whittling away at your life and taking charge of your life. You have to be the person that actually stands up and does this stuff yourself. It's not going to be somebody else in terms of, optimizing all of this kind of stuff and you being more productive for other people. That's absolute nonsense. But if you can live a nice, good life given the constraints that you have and realize that you can actually improve a little bit on a regular basis, hey, that's a miracle by having that. So remember, we have unbelievable constraints, and most things in our life are like almost predetermined, right? You look at the structure of society and it's actually baffling. Again, I think it's absolutely hilarious when academics just breed academics, right? Like professors breed professors. It's anything, right? You're going to choose what your parents have done. And there's this tremendous structure behind what we're doing. But that doesn't mean that you can't improve and do different things and try out different things and explore. That doesn't mean that you can't live a good life. So yes, okay, let's say that there's a structure. My life is the same thing every day, but that doesn't mean that I can't, add other things to it. I used to never floss my teeth, uh, but I started flossing my teeth 10 years ago. Maybe it was 20 years ago now. And it was a really positive improvement in my life. My teeth feel a lot better. So I just want you to sort of think about that everything that you do in a daily basis, it doesn't have to be completely optimized. It doesn't have to be like this is like all perfect, and you got to be okay with that, right? Like sort of release some of the stress and anxiety that you put on yourself. But in the long run, you could do an awful lot if you just keep whittling away at things and trying things and seeing what sticks and what sort of works for you. I think we need to remember that not everything works for yourself, and you need to start focusing on just being a better version of yourself. Not optimization, not focusing on um, how you can get to greater efficiencies and all of that kind of nonsense, but just, hey, you could do a little better. And doing a little better means making yourself happy or making other people happy, caring about the environment or basic things like that you could figure it out as you go. So I just want to leave you with that. Just stop focusing on optimization and focusing on like efficiency and getting things done and being the most organized. That stuff is total BS. Anybody that's ever tried those things, they cannot sustain it in their life. It's absolute BS. All of that stuff. And it's just full on social media and popular culture, all of these get things done. But you just need to be like, I'm good enough. And if I'm good enough, I can whittle out and do a little better at myself and just be a little better, but just a little better on a regular basis. Not getting to the point where you're thinking I'm going to be completely different and all of that's absolute nonsense. It doesn't work. But you could do things that are just a little better. Hey, you know what? If you're dropping off your kids, um, like myself, and you want to do a little better, give them a hug. That's it. That's your little better for the month. And if you look at these kind of things and you look at like what can you improve and what can you do a little better, well, just focus on the little things that really does the world a little better, rather than thinking about the efficiencies and things like that. So I think that's an important lesson to learn. Hopefully it sticks with somebody. All right, take care and have a wonderful day. Bye.